Hey guys, hope you've had a good day so far. Today I'm going to be making chicken piccata with angel hair pasta and a lemon caper butter sauce. So you're going to need some Parmesan cheese, grape tomatoes, a shallot, capers, chicken broth base, some parsley, all-purpose flour with some salt in it, some butter, a whole grain pasta or regular pasta, and some boneless, skinless chicken breast. So what you're going to do next is dry your chicken breast with some paper towels, get the excess juice off of it, and then you're going to wrap it in a plastic wrap. And then you take your meat tenderizer, and if you don't have a meat tenderizer, you can use a rolling pin or you can use a skillet or a pot, anything that's heavy. And you're just going to pound that until it's thin, and you want all three of your pieces to have the same thickness. And the thinner the chicken, the quicker it's going to cook too. So you just pound that out, and then after you have the chicken thinned out, I add some kosher salt and some pepper on both sides. And as I'm adding this, I'm going to heat a skillet with some canola oil, and then you just take your chicken cutlets and put them in the flour, and you just want to lightly coat the chicken with the flour. You don't want to add too much flour. And I just shook off the excess flour. And then after that's coated real nice, you add it to the skillet, and you just let it cook, let it brown up for 3 to 4 minutes on each side so it gets a nice golden skin. Then as it's cooking, you just throw your pasta in the hot, salty, boiling water and let that cook. And then you can see here, I turned the chicken, it has a nice golden crust on it. After the chicken's done cooking, you just put it on a plate and let that set that aside and let it cool off. And then here I add some olive oil, and then you add your shallots. Let your shallots cook for about 30 seconds. And then after you add your shallots, after you cook your shallots for 30 seconds or so, you add your chicken base, and you add 2 teaspoons of chicken base. And to that, you add 1 cup of water. After you add that, you want to turn the heat up so it comes to a boil, and just let that all simmer and cook together. And as that's simmering, I went ahead and drained the pasta, and I put it back in the pan, and I coated it with some olive oil. And then what I'm doing here is I'm taking half of a lemon, and I'm just squeezing it and adding my lemon juice. And then I add half of the parsley into the sauce. And then after you add your parsley, you want to turn the heat off or move the pan away from the heat, and then you add 2 tablespoons of butter. And what the butter is going to do is it's going to make the sauce a little more thicker, a little more creamy, and add some body to it. After the butter melts and everything's incorporated, you're going to pour half of the sauce into the pan with the pasta in it. And I actually added, I don't show it, but I actually added a little bit more sauce after I tossed it together. So after you toss your pasta, what I ended up doing is you take your tomatoes, and I used about 6 or 7 tomatoes, and I just cut them in half. And then the warmth from the pasta just warms up the tomatoes a little bit. You just let that sit there for a second. And then to the rest of the sauce, you're going to add your capers. And so I ended up just using my teaspoon scoop. And so I added about 2 teaspoons of capers, but you can add as many or as little as you want. And then after you add that to the sauce, you just stir it around, and then plate everything together. So you just put your chicken on your plate, and then you add the sauce over the chicken, and take your angel hair pasta with the tomatoes, and you add that next to it. And I actually had trouble adding some of the tomatoes, so just grab as many as you can. And then after you put your pasta on the plate, I added some more parsley to top it off. And you can also, to top off your pasta, you can add some extra virgin olive oil too. And then the recipe didn't call for it, but I added some Parmesan cheese because I always have to have cheese with my pasta. You just add your cheese and you're done. And thank you so much for watching. Enjoy.